How was your weekend? Welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. You, of course, are watching Daily Dive. It is Monday, March the 24th, 2025. I'm your host, Michael Carvelis in Guyton, Georgia. We are live on 12 on Sports via YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV. Subscribe to the 12 on Sports YouTube channel for other great shows and live sports. On today's awesome show, we're going to get into Week 17 game recaps, including the Bandits and the Black Bears splitting their weekend. Our hero, Jeff Teat, had an excellent weekend. I'll break down what it means for the Black Bears as they improve to 6 and 8? Yeah, 6 and 8. And of course, we'll get into 3 stars of the weekend, including 3 more multiple-time winners. Without further ado, we want to let you know this show is presented by tickets.12ouncesports.com. That's tickets.numbers12lettersozsports.com. Get your National Lacrosse League tickets for less by going to that website. The website includes every sport, not just the NLL, and even your favorite music artist concerts, not to mention Broadway and theater. Tickets.12ouncesports.com. Let's get into game recaps now. There was a 7-game slate in week number 17. So let's talk about it here on Daily Dive. 2 games on Friday. The Halifax Thunderbirds got in a 33-goal shootout with the Ottawa Black Bears, who came to town. Thunderbirds had a good attendance of 9,547. Jeff Teat had a sock trick in this game, but it was not good enough because Graham Hosick once again put up video game type numbers. I believe he scored a hat trick, also had 2 assists, including 1 primary, 13 loose balls, 1 caused turnover. The Thunderbirds and the Black Bears went back and forth all game long. Warren Hill and Drew Hutchison played musical chairs with the goalie. Zach Higgins made 58 saves, and it meant literally nothing. Thunderbirds get a big win, and that moves their standing to 9-5, as they have now, I believe, won 7 of their last 8. They're doing very well and are getting very close to that home playoff game. The next game on Friday, as that one was wrapping up, you had the well, actually, that was not wrapping up because Thunderbirds had like 33 penalty minutes. That did not help the end of that game. Regardless of that, the Buffalo Bandits became, actually, this is funny, somehow only the 2nd team of the weekend to clinch a playoff berth. I don't know how, on the green earth that we live on, that the Saskatchewan Rush were on a bye week, and when that first game, when the first game happened, somehow the Rush were the first team to clinch. If the Bandits already beat the Rush, I don't understand how that works. Maybe because the Rush, I guess because the Bandits hadn't played 1 game. Well, they did. They played the Desert Dogs, and this was actually the final potential Tucker Out Lymphoma Cup game, and the Bandits led this game by a boatload of points until they didn't, because it got very tough in the end. Las Vegas just shut them down the second half, and Buffalo does this weird thing the last 5 weeks or so, where they start really well, and then they just fall asleep. I don't know what happened with Buffalo in the second half. They did get a win, 13-10. An emotional Sean Williams presented the Bandits with the Tucker Out Cup. Terrific scene all around there. Next up, we got 4 games on Saturday to talk about. Toronto Rock put an absolute smackdown on the Philadelphia Wings. Now, if you watch the Georgia Swarm play against Vancouver, No, not against Vancouver. Swarm played a game. No, the Rock, actually. The Rock, this is funny. They played a game against the Vancouver Warriors last week where they couldn't pass the ball well. This game, the Wings came to the Rock's home arena at Paramount Fine Food Center where they had 5,000 people once again. That's pretty much all you can have at that stinking arena. But the Wings came to town and they couldn't pass the ball. So the Rock were able to do whatever they wanted, when they wanted, however they wanted to do it, and in front of anybody watching. 15-8, nothing to talk about there besides the Wings are in have the Wings, was it 6 losses in a row now? Oh, I'm sorry, even worse. 7 losses in a row for Philadelphia. It's absolutely bonkers and unacceptable. This team started so well, Philadelphia did, and it has just gone absolutely downhill and gone to hell at this point. Philadelphia, their defense is not good. Offense is sputtering and inconsistent. It's just like, guys, figure it out, because this is not a good look. For more reasons than one, but I'll get to that later on in the week. The Albany, stay tuned, by the way. The Albany Firewolves played the Buffalo Bandits in what would have been the last game of the Tucker Cup, but it was not. But there was no shortage of Williams involved. The Firewolves led this game 10-7, and identical to last week, a team tied it up in Albany. So the Albany Firewolves, I believe, played their 4th game at MVP Arena that went to overtime this year. And through like 6 minutes, we went scoreless. Doug Jameson made 57 saves. That is good enough for a 3-star nod this weekend. And Dyson Williams, after Ty Kurtz took another shot that, guess what, missed. I know, it's crazy. After that, Dyson Williams scoops up the loose change, goes near side behind the back. Dyson Williams, what a way to cup. That's a good point, too. What a way to cap off the Tucker out week as Albany gets another win. And Dan Arestia, friend of the program, said before this game, one of his hottest takes, if Albany wins that game, they are now going to be in the playoffs. So I just want to get to this. Yes, I can. Let's get to NLLstats.com and look at the standings. This is great TV work. Standings, the remaining schedule for Albany, real quick. So Albany now has to play Vancouver on the road and then San Diego twice in what is a back-to-back of like switching out arenas. So it's going to take a lot. And I remind Dan Arestia, the Firewolves lost some really stupid games to start this season. But there is still a chance, even despite having the Firewolves a 6-9 nice record. They do have 3 wins in a row. And if they get a blowout or 2 in there and other teams falter, Albany might make the playoffs. And boy, would that be a story if Glenn Clark really rises the troops. Unfortunately, in this game, I do want to mention, and Dyson Williams made a goal, had 3 goals in the 4th quarter in overtime alone. His hat trick came in those periods, actually. His interdane Dobie, actually. And Alex Simmons got hurt in, I believe, early 4th quarter of that game. Non-contact left knee injury, side of the knee. According to Adam Levy, who was at the game, Alex Simmons, despite having that the ice pack on the left side of his knee, he says the initial reports are he's going to be fine, but does fine mean missing the rest of the year? We don't know. I hope not. I hope that's a good thing, but we'll see. San Diego Seals in what was supposed to be the game of the week wasn't. Seals walked into Calgary and smacked around Nick Rose. So Nick Rose now in 2 games against non-Buffalo Bandits opponents has been awful with the Calgary Roughnecks, and even he'll probably admit that. Calgary wasn't good. And I love when the broadcast was saying, they're without Tyler Pace. Dude, the team scored 12 goals. The offense was not the issue. Allowing 16 goals easily was the issue. So Calgary, despite playing around with Buffalo, is now falling to 9th in the standings at 7-8. The Seals now are 8-6, firmly in the playoffs right now, unless they fall flat on their faces. Or that'd be funny. Seal impression. But yeah, Seals get a big win. 5 goals for Wesley Berg. That will earn a 3 stars nod. Good job to you, sir. Also, Graham Hosick. I'll give it up. I can't even. Just giving away the whole show right now. All right. Vancouver Warriors. In a game where Christian Dobienko tried his encore performance. Now, granted, the Swarm did score 13, and that was a concern. But Vancouver's offense, once again, was a highlight reel. Ryan Martell was electric, including getting punched by Brad Dobson. That was fun. But yeah, really good performance by the Warriors offense. Delbianco made a lot of clutch saves. Lyle Thompson was hell-bent on winning that game, and then, Delbianco just did not care. That was impressive stuff. Lyle Thompson, like I said, was just a monster in the game. He's up to 35 goals this year, and Lyle Thompson, he had 4 goals in that game against the Warriors, but it meant nothing because the Warriors got a win, and Delbianco was able to do enough. And finally, on Sunday, a game, listen, once I found out Dylan Ward was not playing, another star player had a baby, which I think is I think there's some conspiracy going on right now. I'm kidding. But no, big game for Jeff Teat, who scored 5 goals at home. Thank God, too, because Ottawa only brought in 4,745 people. Not great. Alrighty, folks. We got to do it. Somebody got to do it. We really got to do it. That's a Kendrick Lamar impression. Here's the thing. When I come back, I'm going to talk about Jeff Teat. You're not going to want to go anywhere. I know you won't. And we got also 3 stars to come as well. Daily Dive will be right back.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There we go. Welcome back to Daily Dive. I'm your host, Michael Carvelis. You are tuned in to 12 Ounce Sports. A reminder, we have a audio-only podcast version of this show. Go to Spotify and search Daily Dive. You want to know something awesome? Besides the news at the bottom of your screen that the Bandits and the Rush clinched playoff berths and the Desert Dogs became the first team eliminated, we also noticed before the show that the Montana Lacrosse League's Sled Dogs team has re-signed Brendan Murphy, who was an awesome guy to talk to. Actually did some referee duty, but Brendan Murphy has re-signed with the Sled Dogs through 2026. Hey, I think it's going to be a fun ride up in Missoula this year. I hope we're going back. I think 12 Sports is going back, but yeah, I'm just excited for that. Also, there's probably some more signings coming soon. But yeah, Montana Lacrosse League, if you haven't seen the 12 on Sports replays, that was a fun time. I was on play-by-play. I'm tooting my own horn at this point, but no, Montana Lacrosse League, that was a fun event, man. I want to go back. All right. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Give credits where credits is due. I understand the Ottawa Black Bears are 6-8 right now, and they're 10th place in the unified standings. I understand that the Ottawa Black Bears offense coming into this weekend were the only team to average under 10 goals per game. However, the tables have turned. The Ottawa Black Bears are now, this is crazy, are now up to 10.3 goals a game, meaning every team, and they're actually, the worst team is now, no, it's still Ottawa, but not by much. Toronto Rock and the Desert Dogs have them beat by 0.1, like good riddance. So Jeff Teat, this weekend, had 11 goals. Now, through 14 games, Jeff Teat, despite only having 85 points, because he's got 46 assists, the math will tell you he now has 39 goals. So while Jeff Teat, in terms of player points, is currently 9th in the league, in terms of goals, he is now 3rd in the league. And I have told you guys many times on the show, I've said it many times on social media, much to the chagrin and anger of other people. All those secondary assists don't matter to me. Primary assists are cool, and I love those more, but goals are where the pudding is made for those great players. Now, unless your name is Dane Smith and you do have 78 assists this year, then we can start talking, especially with a lot of those are primary. But Jeff Teat put the team on his back, or should I say on his black bear. I tried to make that work. And he was like, we're going to get at least one of these games. Now, to his credit again, the Black Bears probably could have and should have won the first game against Halifax, considering the fact that their own goalie made 58 saves in that game. 58 saves in regulation, and your team loses, you might as well go jump in traffic, because, like, what? That's a good joke. I'm sorry. The Thunderbirds outshot on goal. Actually, they outshot total, but on goal, it was 75-52, which is a plus 23 differential. And then if you add in the shots off the mark, the Black Thunderbirds, I'm doing math off the top of my head, had about, was it 100? Wow. 101 shots compared to just 67 for the Black Bears. But Jeff Teat was the only one playing, and that game he had a sock trick, which goes to my point. Give this man a sidekick. Remember that topic from earlier in this, I think it was Hype Up Month. Like, this guy is too good to be left alone, to be left to dry. Riley O'Connor did have 3 goals. Travis Longboat, Lawson Sun had 2 goals each. But it's like, dude, This guy is too good to be left alone. Now, granted, like I said, he did have 11 goals. I mean, he doesn't need to be a team player. But Jeff Teat sometimes also passes the ball too much. But in that Thunderbirds game, he did take 22 shots. No one else took 10. Now, that right there is a good point. Because that's something that, like, most people probably will not even talk about is Jeff Teat not passing the ball as much and just taking shots. But when they're falling, by all means, take them, is my point. Like, if you took 22 shots, you better have 5 or 6 goals, and thankfully he did. Now, second game against Colorado. Like I said, he had 5 goals in that game. It was a bit unfortunate that Dylan Ward had to deal with his wife having a child. But guys, I'm conflicted on the second game. But like I said, in a game like that, you do want Jeff Teat to show out. And 5 goals, yeah, that'll do. And just looking at the shots on goal for that game, because again, on the second night of a back-to-back, they actually allowed just 9 goals to Colorado. And, I mean, of course, they're without Zed and Eli. Zach Higgins actually only needed to make 34 saves in that game. Jeff Teat took 22 more shots again. Thankfully, Connor Kiernan took 11 of his own to the MJG 79 points that he made in the comments. But yeah, I just think Jeff Teat, in my opinion, had an excellent weekend. I feel like the Thunderbirds were peppering Zach Higgins. Jeff Teat was the only one that could do anything. And it felt like, to me, the Black Bears, in the worst way, needed a big weekend. Again, through 12 games, like only 12 games, he had just 28 goals. He now has 39 and is third place in the league. And that's where he should be, is a top 5 and probably not 4, 3, or 2 goal scorer in the league. If he is the player everyone says he is, he's going to have weekends just like this. Connor Fields did it last weekend, and his was even more clutch. Connor Fields, remember last year, like the Nighthawks had to make the playoffs, had to go their way too, but he had to go off, and he did go off. This is what Jeff Teat, as the best player in the league, quote unquote, needs to do. And he did that. Again, it is alarming, I'll say this again. The Black Bears had just 4,700 folks in attendance. That's a bad deal. And as you'll see from me this weekend, or this entire week, we're going to have some conversations that are very uncomfortable. I hate to have them now, but they got to come out. But we're not going to do that today. When we come back, 3 stars of the weekend, the best winning performances from 3 individuals, including a new 3-time winner.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
You need tickets to that next event? We've got them. That's right, tickets.12ozsports.com. Get you to any sporting event, concert, theater event that you can think of. And the promo code 12OZ or ROME get you an additional discount. Don't feed the massive ticket corporate machine. Go to tickets.12ozsports.com and enjoy the show. America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Stay tuned to the end of the show for some rumors that if you're an NLL fan, you're going to want to hear, and I'll tweet those later. But if you're watching live, you will want to stay tuned to the end of 3 stars for some uncomfortable conversations. Reminder that so now that you heard that, take tickets to the next NLL game by going to tickets.12ouncesports.com. Tickets.numbers12letters ozsports.com. You will not regret seeing things live, knowing you got your tickets for a great price. Alrighty, 3 stars of the weekend. Graham Hosick, the second time the defender has made it to this list, albeit just a 3-star, a 3rd star, I mean. Had a hat trick, including the game, 2 game winners actually, because no, he had 1 game. He had the game-winning goal because his goal that gave the Thunderbirds their 17th goal was actually the difference in a 1-goal game. And shout out to the Blackbears for recovering that stupid plus 1.5. So Leroy could not get any better on his bets, but he did go 2-1. But yeah, Graham Hosick also had 13 loosies, 2 assists, and 1 caused turnover. He was on fire. 2nd star, Wesley Berg. Again, the 3rd time this year, Wesley Berg has made it to 3 stars. He had a 5-goal performance, 3 assists, including 2 primary assists against the Calgary Roughnecks. Before I get to this next person, I want to remind you, Jeff Teat had a 6-goal performance in a loss and a 5-goal performance against something named Whittam. He is not our 1st star, nor did he make the list, because Doug Jamieson stole the show with 57 saves in a victory. Okay? I wanted to give Jeff Teat one of these stars, but to me, Graham Hosick was an all-around beast against the Blackbears in a win. Wesley Berg had a big game against a really good team in a heavyweight matchup. And Doug Jamieson, of course, got a big win against Buffalo when he had 57 saves. Again, I gave Jeff Teat a topic because I felt like he deserved at least something for the weekend. All right. Hear me out. In the next couple of days, you'll be hearing me break this down on the show. You might see an article or 2 from me as well. But I do have some bad news. I am now hearing the Rochester Nighthawks, after I reported they were sold to a local owner. A lot of people, including myself, were wondering, why is that never made any type of news anywhere in any type of magazine or newspaper? It's because, according to multiple sources, the deal fell through during training camp. Which means now, as Pagula and his posse keep on trying to build that Buffalo Bills stadium, there is now a serious concern the Nighthawks will either be sold or fold completely. So while you wrap your head around that, again, the Rochester Nighthawks did not get sold, which would explain why. It would explain why we didn't see it anywhere. And it's unfortunate, but it was just, I feel like it was probably closer than the Charlotte deal where where Charlotte was supposed to get a team for Panther City. Like, this felt closer because everyone thought that, like, hey, the people I talked to have been very, very reliable sources were like, this got done, and now we know why it never came up. Because it fell through during training camp. That's brutal. Just brutal. And finally, this one will come as a shock to you, but Comcast Spectacor, or how do you say it? Comcast purchased the Philadelphia Wings in 2018. The Wings' attendance this season is averaging just 6,636 per game. There is a concern from multiple sources that if CBA negotiations become an issue, the Philadelphia Wings could also fold. I was asking people why can't they sell, and apparently unless somebody pays a bunch, There's a lot of like weird taxes stuff that goes on there. And apparently sometimes it's not even worth it. And you will just like sell the naming rights to the team. Like for 2 years from now, a team might pick it up as an expansion franchise. Like an ownership group might pick it up as an expansion franchise. But again, if you're watching the show live, you've heard it from me. The Nighthawks deal fell through. The Nighthawks are now in serious trouble. I can also add to that, they're severely understaffed because a lot of people lost their jobs for that team. And with the Philadelphia Wings, and what has been their second lowest reported attendance average this season, Comcast may not be in the business of lacrosse very much longer. I'm hoping those teams stick around. But we'll see what happens. Again, I'll discuss that more and break it down in an article or two in the coming days. We'll also talk about it on the show as a topic. But yeah, I thought the people watching live deserve to hear and see that first. A lot to unwrap there. Alrighty, reminder to go to Daily Dive LAX on social media to check out our topics that are going to happen before the show. You also see graphics and more clips, etc. Daily Dive LAX on Instagram and Twitter. Also, you can go to our link tree in our bio of our social media pages. You can find our store. Or you can simply go to dailydivelacks.creator-spring.com to check out merchandise from the greatest and only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. Thanks so much for tuning in to this show on 12 Sports. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.